Доброго дня. До слова
Good afternoon. The floor is given to Ministry of Defense spokesman on ATO-related issues, Colonel Andriy Lysenko. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Now, the information about the events that happened in the ATO area during the last 24 hours. The Lugansk area. Yesterday, starting at midnight until 4 a.m., the occupants delivered shellings of our positions with the use of heavy weapons. The number of ammunition launched is about 80. After 7 p.m., military actions in the region of Popasna, Novoalexandrovka restarted. The militants actively used armored vehicles and also the cannons of 122 millimeter of caliber. Also, the enemy violated ceasefire in Stanitsa Lugansk and Zhovta region of Shastye. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Lugansk area, there were 19 enemy shellings, including 8 with the use of heavy weapons. The Donetsk area, as previously, they record the smallest number of enemy shellings, but they are long-term, about half an hour each. The occupants sporadically violate ceasefire along the front line, except the Donetsk airport. After sunset in Zaitsevo and Verkhnetoretsk, the militants used mortars. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Donetsk area, there were 6 enemy shellings, including 2 with use of heavy weapons. Mariupol area, main military actions are in 2 parts of frontline, Krasnogorovka-Mariinka and Pavlipil-Shirokine. In the course of enemy shellings in Mariinka, roofs and windows of residential houses were damaged, but no casualties among civilians. Along the front line, the enemy uses mortars of different caliber. The number of mines launched is about 160. In other parts of front line, it was calm, except one short-term shelling in the region of Starognativka. And also in the region of Vodyane, there was a flight of enemy air drone. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Mariupol area, there were 18 enemy shellings, 7 with the use of heavy weapons. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed, but 2 servicemen were wounded. It happened in Mariinka in the course of mortar shelling delivered by the enemy. Now, confirmed losses of the militants during the last 24 hours. 1 occupant was killed and 4 were wounded. These losses were sustained by 9th Regiment Novoazovsk and 11th Regiment Makeevka of Russian occupation forces. Also, reconnaissance confirms that in the regions of Novoazovsk there are 23 heavily wounded militants and 28 bodies of servicemen of Russian occupation forces. And in Donetchina, law enforcement detained the militant. After he was released from penitentiary facility in Gorlovka, he went to Donetsk, and there he was recruited by DPR. He underwent some military training in Rostov, and he started to serve among the militants. The detained fought near Donetsk airport. He was wounded. Then he became reconnaissance specialist, but after he was wounded again, he deserted and was detained by Ukrainian law enforcers. During Saturday, police officers, together with the military service of law enforcement, patrolled the region of Mayorsk that was shelled by the militants. The law enforcers documented the consequences of shellings and collected information about people who need help. Also, the group of law enforcers was working to counteract criminality and to identify people who want to destabilize the situation. Also, at the checkpoint in Bugas village, that is near Volnovakha, a man voluntarily handed in his arsenal to police. These are 2 hand grenades, more than 100 cartridges of different caliber, and 3 electric detonators. These dangerous things he stored for months, but he decided to hand them to police, and now he is released from criminal responsibility. This is all. If you have questions, please. Do you have questions? Good afternoon, Fifth Channel. Tell us, please, do you know something about shelling of a hospital in Popasna this night? The information, if it happened in the morning, so this information we will have tomorrow in our report. As to Stanica Luganska, what about the disengagement of troops there? The disengagement of personnel and means from the region. It has the main condition there should be ceasefire for no less than 7 days. And we see now that each night the militants violate ceasefire. Shellings continue, and we wait for the stop of the shellings. So if they adhere to conditions and there will be representatives of OSCE, then we will start simultaneously this disengagement of our forces and equipment. Do you have other questions? No, thank you.